it's Hazy Simmer. I'm recording another episode of the Crybaby Whims Challenge. We're still in the Dollhouse, and today we're recording episode 6. So I have a few things to point out. I have a new monitor coming in, so hopefully I will not be as bright as I am. So I'm really excited to share that. And I do have a camera, a nice camera. So I bought equipment to turn it into a streaming cam. So we're going to have some quite high quality images. So that way, whenever you see my emotions, they will be less contrast. So that way, future videos will only improve in quality. So I was very happy to share that with you guys because I have just been really enjoying. So we are taking off after the events of the last episode where Mr. and Mrs. Hilton planned and successfully murdered Landon for what he did to their daughter. We now know we now have a taste of what they would do, the extreme lengths that they would go to protect their picture perfect image. And we do know that that actually means more to them than life itself, because they didn't value Landon's life at all, as well as their daughter's wishes, because they have been manipulating their daughters more than meets the eye. So Dr. Bradford is giving Jace a key to the house and telling him he needs to be coming over every single day until they can get everything prepared for the wedding. They're planning for the wedding to be a few days after graduation, and nobody is telling Marigold about this. So we know how Dr. Bradford and Helena have told Marigold about the Jace and Belle situation, but Dr. Bradford is telling Jace that Marigold wants to pretend like they never dated, and so she's going to go about the rest of her life like that because since Jace has decided to be with Belle, Marigold is like just done with the situation and wants to put it all behind her and focus on her summer camp break and focus on her senior year. So they have asked Jace to respect that for Marigold and not to talk about their prior relationship at all and just to be friendly with her. And Jace has agreed to that. Oh, it looks like Marigold's doing yoga. We know that makes her feel so much better mentally. So I'm glad that she gets to do that for herself and not have to take any of her prescription of her chill pills or the shifters that have been given to her recently. By the way, those are two different things. She takes chill pills for her paranoia, and shifters are her dad's pharmaceutical experiment. Mind you, she doesn't know that, but she was given a shifter earlier to augment her reality about Jace and her history with Jace. So Belle has asked her mom who is she going to be when she grows up, and I think she's asking her mom like what kind of person am I after what we just did, like what kind of person am I? And Helena's advice to her is to like there's no worries, you've got time. She doesn't have any more time. She's now going to be an adult in the next week and move on with her life. So she's telling her you need to focus on what you like in life and what you want in life and stick to that. And I think that her advice was like, you want to be a trophy wife, be a trophy wife, be the best wife you can because you will not embarrass this again. And, they made that very clear with her. But yeah, I did want to say that Jace is 18. He's been dating Marigold since he was 15 years old, which means he was a child. She was also 14 and now she's 17. Yes, they're in love, but mind you, this is like first love. So first loves can be selfish, and he has this good boy hero knight in shiny armor complex about him because he was raised to be the all-American perfect boy, perfect student, great at sports, treats women right to the point where he has a shallow personality. He is nice, as we've said, he's a good boy. He's stepped up. He's going to marry Belle, even though it has nothing to do with him because he is basically saving Belle from her family and saving Marigold from embarrassment from the outside world. Even though it looks like, from our perspective, he embarrassed her by the kiss. Marigold is invisible in her sister's shadow, so nobody is really paying attention to Marigold. I don't even know if many people registered that they were together for the last 3 years or were that invested in their relationship. And it's not really embarrassing when high school kids, break up and date different people. But what is embarrassing is a public scandal like what Belle is going through, which they are right now, mom and dad, or dad is consulting Belle and letting her know like everything's gonna be okay. We're gonna take care of you. Just stay on track, stay the path, stay in your place. Because this is our picture perfect family and we want to keep it that way. So if you're wondering why Jace made those choices, it's simply because he is a scared child who thinks he's helping out. And also, he was just promised the life of his dreams on a platter. And at that age, knowing that this man can ruin your entire college career, your future, if you don't do what he says because he's so influential. Mind you, a lot of his clientele are celebrities because he's a plastic surgeon to the stars, as well as his pharmaceutical business, his private practice. Offers a Stepford housewife experience for many of the politicians in town, as well as other famous people. He has major influence and he can't really go down that easily. So it's not really something that's in Jace's mind to defy Dr. Bradford and what he is asking. So again, Dr. Bradford is just getting his way in life. He is running the world basically like his own puppet show, or the whole world is his dollhouse. It's his Barbie land. So he kind of has that privilege right now, and he's using it to his full advantage. Jace was always meant to be with our sister because that's part of the challenge rules. So I put in this kind of wilder story as to a reason why he would do such a thing. I thought it'd be more interesting to have a complex story versus, oh, instead of just saying, oh, we caught, our sister kissing our boyfriend one day and then they got married and then we had an affair with him, which we're going to be having an affair with Jace because it's a part of the challenge. But I want us to get to the why of everything is being made. All the choices are being made. So I hope you guys are enjoying that so far. And I will catch up with you guys as we prepare for the wedding and the graduation. After everything that's been going on, yeah, mom is neat, sure. After everything that's going on, Marigold is now suffering from depression. And it is 3 a.m. and Marigold is doing her usual thing. She's up having nightmares. So this time she has decided instead of going out and having yoga, she is going to chat with her pen pal because they've gotten close this year. And luckily, she's going to get to meet him in summer camp, which is going to be great for her because she really just deserves kind of like a reset and a new environment of people. So that's something she's really looking forward to now. So today's the first Monday in the summertime and it's their graduation day. And she's honestly given herself a pep talk because after what happened, she is kind of just terrified. She's happy that she's going to be okay. She's actually terrified. Nobody knows what happened to Landon yet. But after prom, when they heard her and him fighting, they didn't hear what they were fighting about, but they did hear him saying that, she was never going to see him again. A lot of people will probably think that he ran away because he just has that bad boy aura about him. And technically, he doesn't have to go to graduation to graduate. He did finish high school because prom was after high school for their school. So, he can have his diploma mailed to him. So nobody's really going to check on him just because he skipped out on graduation. And that's unfortunate for his remains. So Helena has been cleaning up all night just because of, their activities over the weekend. But it's time to prepare the cake to celebrate everything going on with Belle. She's aging up into an adult. She's graduating. Mom and dad are just in here really talking about like we need to get this set up as soon as possible because the second she's in her own house with this great guy, she can focus on her child and hopefully, stepping up. And dad is telling Helena, like, I am probably going to have to hire a nanny because I don't know how much of your skills she's actually picked up. Helena is feeling a little disappointed in herself because her firstborn daughter has kind of been a disappointment to her. I think a part of the conditions of everything going on, she's going to tell Belle that she will help babysit the child and help out, and they will take care of a nanny situation. If Belle comes over weekly for lunch with her mom and works on skills because she clearly has not picked up anything she was supposed to her time at in her time at home. We're celebrating Belle and her aging up. So to remember she is socially gifted, which probably is why it's probably easy why she's always made friends and she was easily able to charm Jace that this was a good idea to get married. And she's always welcome, so everybody's just happy to have her. Like she's definitely on the invite list. Every self-assured, arrogant. She is very arrogant. That might be a great one. We'll make her arrogant. I think that's what she is very much exhibited. So I'm thinking neighborhood confidant or leader of the pack for her. Not that it really matters, but it also makes that she's gracious. Yeah, that's good. She's good at talking, and we know that. So Belle is graduating with honors, and she is going to be attending graduation soon. She's officially earned her diploma. And Landon has come over, and Marigold is greeting him. And she's asking him how he's doing. And he's like, "How are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm fine." And he is confused, but he's just going inside because he is going to respect. See, Dr. Bradford is watching. He's going to respect Dr. Bradford's wishes and not talk about anything. He is definitely sad and heartbroken in some ways because, he saw his life with, but he saw his life playing out with Marigold. He's grown up loving her the last 3 years, and she's meant a lot to him. And look at him looking at her. Oh, and Belle is saying, "Hey, nobody has told Marigold about them getting married." And so Jace and Marigold are talking about, "Yeah, we used to date, I think, and it's over. It's no big deal. I'm so happy for you and my sister." And Jace is like, "Are you sure?" Jace and Belle are trying to make it work, but Jace is extremely uncomfortable with all this going on, especially in front of Marigold, because this is not how he saw his life playing out. He always thought he was going to marry Marigold, to the point where he was actually about to, propose to her on the day they broke up. So, his heart is broken, but, he's more so scared of Dr. Bradford than anything. So if you saw, Jace and Marigold have a full negative bar. They are meant to, per the challenge rules, is to start at a full negative bar because we're supposed to get it all the way back to the positive. When it comes to romance, that's a part of the challenge rules. So I did have them do the breakup interaction, but what I am saying is they broke up during prom, and then whenever he came over today, Marigold, invited him in, and he was like, "Hey, like, is everything okay after everything that happened? Like, are you okay?" And Marigold, "Yeah, what's up?" And he's like, "Well, I just figured after everything we've been through." And she's like, "What are you talking about? We hung out for a little while, but like we weren't anything serious. And I'm so happy for you and my sister. Like, I love my sister so much." And he's like, "Okay, like, what do you mean? We've been through so much." And she has no memory of the 3 years they were together. In her mind, she is suffering from depression. She doesn't know where these feelings are coming from, and she's just filling them out. We know that Dr. Bradford used a shifter on Marigold to manipulate her reality and augment her reality to change her perception of the events of her own life. This is something Belle does not know. Belle just thinks that her sister's going with it because her parents told her to, and Belle was told not to talk about it, and Belle's not going to talk about it because she saw what her parents did to Landon, and she is not going to talk about it. And Helena is telling Jace, "I trust that you're going to do the right thing. We have ways of making sure you do." They don't know he knows about what happened to Landon because Jace isn't going to say, "Hey, Belle told me you killed her ex-boyfriend." Like, and Belle and Jace are talking to Helena about the plans to get married after graduation. Jace is sad about it, but he understands, like, out of all the scenarios that could have happened, like them poisoning him as well, he technically has an okay scenario. Him and Belle are friends, but in his mind, it could be worse. He's luckier than most. Looks like Jace is talking to Belle about, like, "Is your dad sure he's fine with financing this? Like, I'm not afraid of working." And Belle said, "Don't worry about it. My dad has everything taken care of. It's going to be under control. We're going to be happy together." And Jace didn't like that. He's like, settled is not happy. Their dynamic is a little rough because of her lie and her actions. He is trapped in a situation that is quite dangerous. He knows about the shifters, as I said before. He knows whispers of what Dr. Bradford deals in, but he didn't know the extent of it until now, and he's going to suffer the consequences of Belle's actions. Right now, yeah, she's had some consequences, but not nearly as much as everyone around her, not as much as her sister and her future husband is dealing with. But we're going to have her come and cook with her mom because she needs to work on her life skills, and that is a part of them allowing her to have a nanny, is that she's going to actually try harder and not just focus on being a trophy wife, but being the perfect wife instead. So I'm going to have them come and do that. They suspects that they have possibly used shifters on Marigold because of the way she reacted, not knowing anything really and seeming kind of like, "What are you talking about?" So he believes that they have probably altered her reality and changed her perception of her memory, but he will not confront them or her about it because he is scared. He is just scared, and he's just going to be like, "You know what? I was about to get married to this girl anyways. I'll marry her sister. I was planning on getting married. I'm gonna go to college. Like he's washing his hands of doing the right thing for Marigold because he's out for his own neck. He is terrified of Dr. Bradford and Helena. He's just gonna play his role. And Belle is doing a good job preparing the salmon. Belle knows how to cook. She's just kind of decided to be lazy over the last couple of years because she really thought her looks could get her everything that she wanted, which we now know she doesn't know what she wants. She's a teenager throwing a temper tantrum because a guy didn't like her, and she really put herself in such a terrible situation, and now the world is paying for it. So it's early morning on a Tuesday. It's time for Marigold to go to summer camp. So she's taking an Uber to the airport so she can go to summer camp, and she is going to be spending her summer camp in Selva Dorada. So far, Marigold and Nico are the only ones who made it to summer camp. Oh, look, looks like Jay, Lissa, and Kevin have also made it to summer camp. This is like all the rich kids who live like in Tartosa coming and renting out a house out in El Salvador. I can't remember the name of the place. I never really come here, so I thought this would be really fun to play for a few days and get into the adventure of them exploring the culture. I'm not sure if they would go to a temple ruin or not, but this is supposed to sleep 8. We're going to get into that in a minute. But Kevin is in here checking on Marigold, asking her if she's okay since prom. And she's like, why does everybody keep asking me that? I have no idea. Like, I barely remember prom, but I'm fine. And everybody's like, okay, whatever you say. Nico has been Marigold's pen pal for some time now, so they are going to get to know each other a little bit better on this trip before senior year because he also is getting a scholarship to attend their prestigious private school. So Marigold is enjoying her time at summer camp. It's already been a few weeks. She is just cooking the gang breakfast, and they're out here on the deck playing some poker. They've invited her to come in and join after she makes breakfast. Because of her, the way she was raised, she's like, hey guys, like while we're here, I don't mind cooking breakfast as this is a part of my daily life anyway. So they definitely are getting spoiled. But yeah, so Nico is asking Marigold how was her junior year, and she was like, yeah, it was fine and uneventful. And he's like, oh, that's great. I really enjoyed getting letters from you. It really helped me get through my time at my school, and I'm so excited that I'll be transferring to y'all's school for senior year. I know it's such a good school for colleges to look at, but she's just having a great time with having tons of friends and really just getting to enjoy her last summer as a teenager. She does have this creeping paranoia feeling because she's like realizing she's about to be an adult and her parents have only prepared her to be a wife, and everybody's talking about their futures, and she's like, I don't really know what I want to do. And Jay is telling her, you would be such a great writer, like we all love reading your stories whenever you're in class. And she's like, no, 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 like I'm not doing that. I'm not sharing my writing. That's something I do for me. Alyssa said that she is currently working as a barista in a coffee shop, but she's actually going to school to be a mortician. So that is something she shared with everybody. But Nico and Marigold keep running into each other here, and they just keep playing around. Like they're having the best time. And he keeps telling her, like, I had no idea how beautiful you were. I can't believe this is the first time I've ever seen you in person. Guys, I know he was in the back of the high school. He was in the background. Let's just ignore that, okay? This is Nico is her pen pal. Let's just ignore that, okay? But yeah, so they're chatting, getting to know each other, and he's just telling her, like, you are so beautiful, and I am so happy that I get to meet you. And Marigold is just thinking, what a romantic place to be in. But the two of them are becoming best friends. They have just spent so many countless hours writing back and forth to each other. And now they're going to be going to school together for their senior year. So, they just really bonded over this trip. They got swept away in the romance of it all. They've been pen pals for years. Marigold has no emotional attachment to Jace because of the shifter her dad used to augment her reality. So her memories of Jace are very foggy, which is why her depression comes up when she's around Jace, but she doesn't really understand why. And Nico is, been a friend to her for years. So maybe they have kind of decided that they're soulmates. And I think she's going to tell, or I think he's going to tell her, like, I've been, in love with you for years. Ever since, you wrote me back, I've just been absolutely in love with you. And he's going to ask her to be his girlfriend. And Nico has the lover archetype. So, guys, Nico is a writer. His aspiration is to be a successful author and have his books turned into romance movies. Oh my gosh, not another fire. Oh, he has gotten a fear of fire. That's not going to be good for their future. Who set the fire? Lissa! Lissa set the fire. Oh my gosh, is anyone going to put her out? Is anyone brave enough to put her out? Come on, somebody do it. Come on, Nico. Okay, nope, the fire alarm worked. That's fine. Okay, Lissa is posting to her social media, hashtag survive the fire. We're sending you home. Bye. You ruined our storytelling. Everybody is out here now gonna have fears of fire. Marigold, if she would be his girlfriend and give him a chance. He knows that he's a poet and an art, and his dream is to be an author. Sorry, guys, I struggle saying Arthur and author, but his dream is to be a writer. So we're gonna say that, yeah, and have his books turn into and his plays turn into movies one day. So, a part of their summer camp is to come to the Archaeology Museum in Salvadorado and view all their artifacts and kind of write a report on that for their history this year. Nico and Marigold have came here together and they are totally smitten. I think their summer romance is hot and heavy. And Nico is a very poetic soul. He is over here looking at all the artifacts, thinking, like, what amazing people sculpted this? What were their lives like? It's inspiring to him and something he would write a story about. He's really happy to share this with Marigold as well. So Nico has taken her to this beautiful part of the jungle, and he's just professing his undying love to Marigold and letting her know that he will always be there to take her off her feet and swoon her and woo her and all the things. Nico has swept Marigold off of her feet. She cannot imagine, a more perfect guy. He is the most perfect guy. And she's going to talk to him about her fears of abandonment and being cheated on. She's just always shared her deepest secrets with him over the years. Marigold is realizing she is madly in love with Nico, and Nico has spent the summer romancing Marigold. He has been telling her, like, I have been in love with you after a handful of letters from you, just getting to know you on such a level. I've never met someone who is so deep and so eloquent, and I want to spend all my time with you. So I hope when we go into the school year, you will continue to be my girlfriend. I don't want this to be just a summer fling. Like, I really feel so deeply for you. And she's just telling him that she has never fallen for someone the way she has him. She's never been in a serious relationship before, to her knowledge. And he just is holding her close. He's like, I don't want the summer to end. This has been a dream come true. But Nico is such a romantic. And they stayed up all night, talking about their fears. He Nico has really spoken to a side of Marigold that she has never, really admitted to anyone else. She's told him about, her paranoia and how she's been diagnosed with her paranoia ever since she was a little girl and she's been medicated for it. Nico is just assuring to her that he will always be there for her and they will make sure that their life always feels like this summer. And he wants to make sure she knows that he will always hold her close and put her needs before his own. So, checking back in with these dolls, it is right after graduation, and Belle is so excited to be done with all that because she is starting to show now. Her dad is letting her know, like, nobody suspects a thing. Everything's gonna be fine. You guys need to get married next month. I will make sure you guys are all set up in Bridechester. Jace is feeling really confident because he's super excited about starting college and getting, that part of his journey started. Dr. Bradford is very happy with the way things are working out. No one has suspected a thing about Landon. He doesn't expect them to either. Jace has not mentioned it, so they don't know that he knows. They're ordering their food though, and they're getting ready to send Jace off to college and have Belle get married to Jace and start everything. So they are just discussing their plans for the wedding in the coming weeks and then buying a townhouse in Britechester to set Jace up for university and make sure that there is a safe home for their grandchild to grow up in for Belle, and they're going to hire Belle a nanny who is scheduled to come in and check in and help out, but they want to make sure that she is going to continue to work on her parenting, to continue to work on her homemaking skills as part of the condition to have her own place. So Dr. Bradford is just making sure that they understand the conditions of this marriage, and he's hoping that they have a happy life together. He's trying to explain to them, just because this is a marriage of convenience doesn't mean you two can't find happiness if you try. And Jace is like, yeah, like, we're good friends. Everything's going to be fine. So Jace is telling Dr. Bradford, I have no worries. Me and Belle are good friends. She comes from you and Miss Helena, and I know you guys are great people. And he's kissing their butt. He's making sure he stays on their good side and never crosses them. So they're all very happy. They've always liked Jace. Dr. Bradford already gave Jace permission to marry Marigold. So, he knows they like him, and he is definitely going to keep playing that role of Mr. Nice Boy, even though inside he's like, okay, like, I don't want to mess with these people anymore. But now he's kind of shifted into a fakeness because he wants to save his own skin. So Dr. Bradford is working on his newest version of shifters and inputting all the data he's learned recently. So he's gotten a call from a few of his clients that everything is going really well. So he's just adjusting the formula a little bit. But his clientele are like the top of the top guys. So if you're I don't want to get like too much into like all his clients and everyone he's like got under his thumb, but just know that basically he's untouchable. That's the best way to do it because I do want to move forward in the challenge and get towards us being in our house with our main sim, Marigold. So just understand that, this is kind of his everyday life. He's a surgeon. He is experimenting with his private practice. He does plastic surgery for rich and famous people. And apparently, he needs to get straight to surgery. He is currently operating on a patient. She has to have her baby removed via C-section. So, they called him in. He's technically not an OBGYN, but he is a surgeon, and this is a very special case. So it's something that he is working on very intensely. Does anyone want to tell me why Dr. Bradford and the receptionist are the only patients the only employees that showed up to work? Like, I couldn't imagine playing this and, like, there's no one here to help. Like, why should he have to do any of the nurse stuff and all the other stuff if he is a surgeon? This game, guys, like, fix it. Today, Marigold and Nico are exploring the local cuisine and culture of El Salvadorado. Is that the name of this place? I really can't remember. They're enjoying the local cuisine and they are chatting up. Oh my goodness, he unpromptedly just sweeps her off her feet. Salvadoran. Okay, good. I was making sure I was saying that right. So they're experiencing the culture, enjoying the cuisine, visiting local shops. Marigold has been living it up, enjoying her time with Nico. She's really happy. And even though the summer's ending, she's very happy to see, what the new school year will bring. She would consider Jace her high school sweetheart because in her mind they dated like briefly freshman year, but the longevity of it is not something she actually remembers anymore. So this is going to be her senior sweetheart, Nico, and I'm very excited to see what they get up to senior year. I have us on 3-speed, but Marigold is doing so good here. She feels fine. Like she feels so at peace here. And I think she's very grateful she came on this trip because when she was at home, she was experiencing bouts of paranoia, waking up at 3 a.m. She felt constantly like something was happening to her that she couldn't quite describe. And basically, since prom, she's been in this haze and going in and out of depression and sleeping and naps and fits of just paranoia. So to have herself feeling fine is very new for her. And I do think this experience is one that she's going to treasure and look back on later in life. Especially because it's going to be the place where she fell in love with Nico, the beautiful Sal Dorado. She has found this stray pup out in the wild out here, and I think she wants to try to adopt him and bring him home with her. Or actually, I think it's a girl. So Nico said he has found out about a concert at an abandoned warehouse here in Salvadorado. So he has asked her to join him and go to the local club, putting it up out there. She said the concert was so good and they played all her favorite songs. So Marigold is having the time of her life out here. Best summer vacation ever. You guys, Nico just died in a fire at summer camp when she just felt madly in love with this guy. I can't have this happen. And now Nico is not dead because that is not the story we're telling, but goodness, guys, like why? Why me? All right, it is wedding day for the dollhouse. Our first wedding of the series, and I'm super excited to get into it. With Tartosa being a town of love, a city of love, and a very romantic destination full of rich people who are whimsical and kind of just do what their passions drive them to do. It's not really unheard of to get put together a last minute wedding. That's why there is so many of these venues around. So Helena's came to town to grab a few items for the wedding, a last minute cake for the event today. Mario and Helena are good friends as she always comes here to, get new flowers and bouquets often. So he's just checking in on her. So he's giving her the bouquet for free because, he just loves Helena as a friend and their kids so much. The whole town knows that they're getting married and eloping summertime. And kids are in love, they're romantic, and nobody's like really judging them for the rushing of the situation because this is the place where people come and get married. So it's just not really unheard of from them to like hear another person is married. He has a tattoo on his back that we didn't know about. How interesting. So it looks like Belle is really just sad about the situation because she was so attracted to Landon. So she's trying to give herself a pep talk while poor Jace is just going along for the ride. He's going to tell her, like, everything's going to be okay. This isn't our ideal situation, but we can make this life work for us. You know, your parents are setting us up for success, and we should really just walk into everything with an open mind, as that's probably the safest thing to do, knowing how they are. And I think Belle's saying, yeah, I guess you're right. I just want to feel safe. And Jace is saying, I'll make sure you're safe. If we don't fall in love, that's okay, but I promise you we'll be safe. So it's going to be time for the ceremonies to start now. And the moment has come for them to get married. Peeking through the curtains into this, appearingly into this environment that appears to be two young adults who have quickly fallen in love and are ready to start their life together. We know that behind these curtains, it's so much deeper than what it appears on the surface. And here comes the bride. And it's time. They're exchanging their vows. They're making promises to keep each other safe, to be friends. Jace is promising to always be a friend, and they're exchanging the rings. She's put on a few pounds, but nobody's really thinking she's pregnant right now because she is 4.5, 5 months pregnant. But it's official. They're married, guys. Marigold's sister has officially married her high school sweetheart. And I think the wedding worked pretty decently. I didn't add a lot of things. I only did 2. We have a cake. We'll do the cake. And we'll come over here and do a first dance. I don't know if we need to have the music on. So they're all gathering for the first dance of Mr. and Mrs. Windsor. I don't know if it already changed her name. Let me see. No, it still says Hilton. Well, she's going to be Mrs. Windsor after this. Let's see if we can get them to do their first dance. I think right now that, they're trying to accept this bad situation. Jace is saying, hey, do you remember this is what got us in trouble in the first place? Is, just a month ago at prom, I asked you to dance. And look! Okay, so they had some positive sentiments, but everything happened good for the wedding. We've already done our 2 goals, which I think they're excited because they're going to be free from, the microscope of her parents. But he's probably like, this got us in trouble in the first place, and she's like, yep, sure did. Well, she got herself in trouble in other things, but. And they're doing the traditional things of feeding each other the cake. They're playing the house right now together. They're, agreeing to play house. And Jace is set up for life. He gets to have his dream job. But Jace is Mr. Charismatic. Everybody loves him. I feel like Nancy is saying, oh, I didn't know you two were an item. And Jace is like, oh, yeah, we've actually been together for quite a while. He's not going to let the family be embarrassed. He's officially been essentially initiated. Yeah, he knows their dirty secrets, but they don't know he knows them. Oh, Jace is crying. Maybe he was briefly thinking about like this could have been his wedding next year to Marigold, but he has to get over like his love for her. Everything's going so well for Dad, apparently. Dr. Bradford and his daughter are having a father-daughter dance. I don't think he has much to complain about now that everybody thinks that everything is perfect for them, and she's playing her role perfectly. She's only gained 10 pounds, so it's not like crazy obvious. It's kind of like they're playing it off like it's a dress design and not really that she's pregnant. I know it looks really obvious to us, but let's just keep it a little, let's just try to pretend that it's convincing for everybody else because I don't want that to be. But yeah, I think the wedding's going great, so we will end the event and then move them into their house. And that's going to be everything for today's episode. And the next episode, we will have them in their new house. And Marigold will be coming back from camp. So we'll get to, start her senior year and watch her and Nico's love grow. And yeah, I'm super excited. I hope you guys are enjoying where this challenge has gone so far. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.